Question of the video, and man, I'm on fire with these. 39 Ford. All right. Is that going to be Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Or are we talking Bonnie and Clyde? Now, golly, as the words formed in my mind and came out as these utterances from my throat hole, it began to realize that, Bonnie and Clyde were long gone by the time that particular year of Ford came to pass, right? So they were part of the 20s, right? But then again, who the hell knows what Who Framed Roger Rabbit is anymore, or what you mean by that? I mean, do I say like LA Confidential? I find that style interesting. I never got into it so much when I was younger, with the exception, is it kind of the exception? Like the ZZ Top Eliminator. I really, being part of the MTV generation, I really like the ZZ Top Eliminator. One of my favorite cars in picture and on video. Now, in person and driving them the way that they're typically built is sort of a different story, I later found out, but still gorgeous and a delight if you ever have the means to have one in your driveway. But in my area, like that era of swoopy cars has become really popular. Ford's being the most popular. The coolest one around, though, in my opinion, it's like a 1930 something two-door Chevrolet Deluxe. You never see that many Chevys. It's like they didn't have the opportunity to be preserved, or maybe not as many of them were built. I just don't know. But that is one of the nice things about being in an area where so many people are moving into, and there's a lot of wealth. I mean, you're actually seeing these doggone vehicles on the street, and if you're a fan of them and a fan of the concept, I think it's a nice time. It's a nice time to be around. And side effect is part of my failures as a parent. Now, my nephews are a different story. They tend to know their vehicles pretty good, but my daughter is like, if that car came out when you were in the 90s, it'd be like a 1932 Ford. I'm like, no, it's like a 32 Business Coupe or whatever it was. The darndest thing. But I was always into the muscle cars and like the raw performance. Been a fan of the Corvette being my favorite up until this most recent iteration, this most recent generation. I still can't wrap my head around it. Now, I'm very fortunate to have kind of adjacent to my team this older gentleman that has a Corvette collection, of which the new Corvette, the new mid-engine Corvette, he does not have, but he's even got a Z06. He's got a ZR1, C7 ZR1. Even he's goo and gaga for the new Corvette. Only reason I can imagine that's because maybe he's not into the European supercars like the Ferrari and the Lamborghini. Like, I don't understand what it is that made Corvette think that they needed to be in that Ferrari and Lamborghini game. It's really hard to say. It'd be interesting to see him get into that McLaren game, though, where you have that hybrid just making ridiculously nuts horsepower and 4 electric motors, and have at you, man. But their sights weren't really set on McLaren. Their sights are set on Tesla. At least my service rider training 2 years ago with GM, like they were squarely wanting to take over the electric car market. But they've certainly got some competition. Wonder where they'd all be if Elon Musk didn't have his software be open source. I know y'all don't like those electric cars, so we'll end it there.